hyperspace. Woo! Woo! That is why that MotoGP sound of that motor. Alrighto, Toyota champs, and I'm out on Tuffa, and there's a speed camera right there. Speed camera right there. We'll just cruise on by this speed camera, sitting right there in the new Commodore. Say hello to my little friend, yeah. See you later, mate. But anyway, I'm out on Tuffa the StreetFighter V4, and actually a bit of a milestone. Over 1,000 miles, or over 1,000 k's, of course. I've done about 12,000 miles on this, so you know, nearly 2,000 k's. And I want to give my review of this bike. All I can say is, if you just want to sum it up, wow, what a friggin' bike this is. It's absolutely amazing. It's sort of like two bikes in one, I would say. What I mean by that is, we'll just go up this hill. Hopefully it won't be followed up here. Am I? Nope. That bit and then hyperspace. Woo! Woo! That is why that MotoGP sound of that motor. Woo! That takes your breath away, and that is just hyperspace. That is just hyperspace, and I don't even think I revved that out. I'm pretty sure I didn't rev that out. Wow! That just takes your breath away. That's just a little bit of third, getting into fourth. Just absolutely monster. And what I mean by this is two bikes in one is, well, actually three bikes in one. You can ride this around like a slow touring bike. Good upright riding position, comfortable. That's the main reason I got it. I was thinking of getting a Tuono. I was thinking of getting a Street Triple RR, and I could easily have went with any of those because they're great bikes, but I went with this one because the riding position is just more comfortable for me. That's as soon as I sat on it, it was like this bike was tailor-made for me. Just the geometry, the handlebars, the seat, where it sits, just Tuono a little bit too forward. The Street Triple RR, yeah, that was just too forward, that position, and this one was just perfect. Just perfect. So that's the first thing. Very comfortable, and you can ride it around as a commuter. You can just putt around in street mode, and the suspension is very compliant. It's just easy to ride at low speeds. It's just like the Tuono 660 was pretty painful to ride at low speeds. It had really bad fueling, jerky throttle. Street Triple RR was good. That was good. Speed Triple, should I say? That was good at low speeds as well. But this thing is just amazing. You could use it as a commuter bike. It just, yeah, it's really good like that. So that's one type of bike. And then the second type of bike it is like a 600 or a middleweight bike. So what do I mean by that? I mean by that is that if you just lived from 3,000 to 9,000 RPM, you've got a middleweight bike, okay? You've got all the power and torque of a middleweight bike, like the Tuono 660 I had. That is this bike living at 3,000 to 9,000 RPM. That's the sort of power you have, the sort of torque you have, everything. It's just like riding a middleweight bike, except the Tuono was lighter. But most middleweight bikes are around that sort of 200 kilo mark, and this one is too. So it is a middleweight weight and size and agility and all that sort of stuff. It's a middleweight. And you know, there's only like the Tuono and the RS that are pretty much lighter than this in the middleweight category, and maybe the, you know, the Street Triple Yeah, that's maybe 10 kilos lighter, but are you going to notice 10 kilos that much? Yeah, you might notice it a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, this is a middleweight bike weight, agility wise, everything. And if you live between 3 to 4,000 RPM to 9,000 RPM, you have a middleweight bike there. But this is, of course, a leader bike. And oh my God, once you go beyond that sort of 9,000 RPM, you have hyperspace. And that hyperspace, look, I'm perfectly happy to ride this bike up to around 9,000 RPM. Having that middleweight performance, just, you know, it's really good. It's got the perfect amount of torque. I don't think I would want more torque, all right? Now, the new StreetFighter, they can, you can let more torque, or you can set it up so you can have more torque in second, third and fourth gear. You can unlimit the torque. Whatever they've got it set up here in terms of torque, remember it's limited with the torque, so this could have more torque. But whatever amount of torque they have, it's the perfect amount, because I don't want any more on the street. On the track might be a different story. Maybe I want all that torque. But certainly on the street, I do not want any more torque. It's just basically unusable, and it's got a perfect amount of torque, as I said, just the right amount. And yeah, you know, it is a middleweight bike if you live at those red ranges I talked about. But then you got the hyperspeed, right? The 1 litre high top end, and the top end on this is just out of control. You've never felt anything like this. Oh, he was going to try and turn there. Of course, you've never felt anything like this at the top end. It is rush city, like it's hard to explain. When you hit that hyperspeed, you're hitting that MotoGP sort of engine noise, and it's just rushing at that top end. Everything just blurs and distorts. It's just, it is horizontal skydiving. Okay. Now, there are some downfalls to this bike. You know, mainly probably choose through tyres, expensive to run. There's no service at what, 26,000 kilometres. It's hot. There's no doubt that it is hot. Not in an unrideable way, but you will feel it on a hot day. Like I can't feel it at all today. There's no heat whatsoever. It's not a hot day. It's only 20 degrees, but I have ridden it in the 30 degrees area, and it will get hot when you're stuck in traffic, right? When you're commuting. When you're riding, you're out on the road and you're moving, there's no issue with the heat. It is loud AF. It sounds amazing. I would not be getting a pipe for this if you want for sound. And I actually don't know why you would buy a pipe for this at all, except for maybe weight savings, or maybe you want it to look better, because you don't need more power. That's just ridiculous. Maybe on a track you might want it, but certainly not on the road. You don't want it louder. Alright, you put a pipe on it, it sounds different. Or exhaust, it sounds different, but I don't know that it sounds any better. It's just louder, really. Maybe a little bit of a different tune there, but yeah, this is an earplug only bike, so that's one of the downfalls. Like, I have to wear earplugs with this, so it's sort of like a mute point. Why would you get an exhaust for the sound if you're going to be wearing earplugs? And yeah, you could not wear earplugs, but you're going to be deaf, your ears will be ringing. But all in all, I love this bike. The suspension is ace. Now, I don't have the S model, and the S model is the electronic suspension. Let me tell you now, you're going to be happy with this suspension if you get the non-S model. Like, it is so good, fully adjustable. I've set it up to perfection, sort of in the sweet spot there. It's very compliant. You can have this very compliant. I set it to all the soft as I could get it. There's a bit of movement to and fro, like forward and back, but so compliant. So you could actually tour on this bike, except that, yeah, the fuel mileage isn't that great. So the new version, the 2023 model, actually has an extra litre. I don't know that a litre would make that much difference, but certainly the only thing that would stop you touring on this would be you don't want to get that Desmo service up too quick by clocking up the miles, or you don't like wearing earplugs, and hearing this for a few hours would be painful if you're not wearing earplugs. Also, just the fuel mileage, right? It just, you can't go that far in a tank. Like, they've had Ducati ride days and they've said something along the lines of, yeah, you can come for a ride, make sure you've got a full tank before you come see us, we're going to be riding 200 kilometre stints. And it's just like, well, I can't do 200 kilometres on this bike without refueling, and that'll be about the limit there. But all in all, it's perfect, this bike. The suspension is amazing, can be compliant if you want, and I don't even have the Öhlins suspension, and you know, you can have very sporty, like, you will not reach the limit of this suspension, no chance whatsoever. Even on the racetrack you won't do it. You would have to be a professional MotoGP to actually even reach any of the limits of this bike. In fact, I don't think, you know, us mere mortals would even get close. So I reckon you could save yourself some money. If I was you, I would get the non-S version now that I'm not ignorant, because I was going to get the S version, but they didn't have any. It was like a 4-month wait. I don't know, I guess I was impatient, and luckily I bought this because the prices have gone up. Like, Jesus, I don't know how Ducati put up the prices every single year. It's just insane. So yeah, anyway, that's my sort of 1,000 kilometre review. It is such an amazing bike. I think it's a keeper. I will say, oh, another thing, the paint, whatever clear coat they use on this is rubbish. There's like, you know, superficial sort of, you know, those micro scratches in the paint, like as soon as I got it. Like, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, what else is to complain about? Not really much, really, to complain about. It's just a killer bike, and I guarantee you buy this bike, you will love it. I mean, there's the attention factor, which I'm a bit of an introvert, and I don't like people coming up to me. Not because I don't like people. Oh yeah, actually it is. I don't like people, strangers. It's not that I'm rude or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. That's just the way I am. I don't mind striking up a conversation, but I'm a text person. I don't like to talk on the phone. Here, text. That's how I like to talk. But anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. I got a big one. You got a big one. Tally ho.